We are live on a brand new episode of Ladyz Digest, where issues in the world of women are discussed. Ladyz Digest is proudly brought to you by AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. In today's episode, we'll try our best to digest a very sensitive issue which has to do with women and leadership. First of all, you ask yourself, what is leadership? What do I need to be a good leader, especially as a woman? These and many more will come our way today in today's discussion. And remember, you can catch us up on our social media handles on Facebook and YouTube at the Association of African Universities. And you can follow us on Instagram at Ladyz Digest. I'm Joan Akua Iyoha. Do stay tuned. Meet our guest, Miss Joan Akua Iyoha, a final year student of Ghana Institute of Journalism, a PR executive and an entrepreneur. She is single and very passionate about young women in leadership. Her hobbies are cooking and speaking. And the philosophy about life is that there is no such thing as a self-made person. Someone else believed, supported, and invested in you. Be grateful by being that same someone to another. Miss Joan Akua Iyoha is a final year pharmacy student of Central University and an entrepreneur. She is the CEO of Jovix Empire. She specializes in makeup, hairstyling, and skincare therapy using natural and organic products. She is single and from a large family of 11. She is passionate about growth and women making great change in society. This passion has seen us thus far taking up various leadership positions as class representative from level 100 to 200, international students representative for Central University 2 years in a row, and Women's Commissioner, Association of Nigerian Students, NANS Ghana chapter. She has attended numerous workshops and conferences, one of which is the Women's Skill Acquisition Program in partnership with Nanotech. According to her, her work is a hobby aside cooking, and the philosophy about life is that life is to be lived. So always take it a step at a time at your own pace. Yeah, welcome back. So before the break, I said that we'll be looking at women and leadership. And we know leadership, it's in different levels and different aspects, but we'll try and look at leadership in the tertiary institution levels. And with time, in our subsequent shows, we'll treat leadership in the different positions, and we'll interview and discuss with, speak with other ladies. But today, in my midst, I have two beautiful ladies. Two very, very beautiful ladies who would assist me in doing justice to this topic. And I have Miss Joan Akua Iyoha, yes, and Miss Joan Akua Iyoha. Yeah, they are very beautiful, I must say. Welcome, guests.
Thank you.
How's your day been?
It's been very cool.
All right, welcome. So we are talking about leadership. We just want to go straight to the point. So, Miss Joy, I would ask you as a secondary school lady, secondary school girl, I just found the word leadership somewhere, and I come to you. How would you explain that word leadership for me to understand?
Basically, leadership is taking up responsibility, the ability to be able to lead a group of people, okay, and to achieve a common goal. Okay. You should be able to carry them along, make sure everyone is willing to put in their work and everything. Leadership is people are not born perfect leaders. You do it over time, and you become good at it.
Okay. Yes. So Louisa, any addition?
Oh yeah, I would say that a leader is actually born out of a group.
Okay.
So before someone could be a leader, you should be part of that group you would want to lead. Okay. So I would say a leader is part of the group he or she aspires to lead, who understands the plight of the group, knows where they want to go, and has some steps in place to take them to where they want to go.
Okay. So here we are talking about that the word common goal.
Exactly.
There must be a common goal among you and your team. Because if, for instance, I as a leader, I'm thinking of that in 5 years' time, I want this company to be here, and my team members are thinking, oh, in 5 years' time, this should be in another direction. There will be conflict.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Louisa. When we talk about we are talking about characteristics here. We know that there is this notion that introverts might not make good leaders because of the way they are being just reserved, undermining the fact that they may be good at, they may have the ability, the capability to take you to that dreamland. Would you find that notion true?
I would say it's partially true.
Okay.
It's partially true because if we look at the various temperaments, melancholics to me are the ideal.
Yeah.
Because they are very creative, assertive. Because of their introvert nature, they are able to observe from a distance and provide solutions. But then looking at our part of the world, leadership is defined with charisma. So it will go more for the choleric. Because the choleric is very charismatic and they are very assertive. They take decisions on the spot and all that. So introverts are good leaders, but from our part of the world, with the kind of definition we give to leadership as something that goes in line with charisma, then the introvert is at a disadvantage.
Okay. So talking about charisma and talking about introverts, what would you highlight some characteristics of leadership or characteristics of a good leader?
A leader should have good communication skills. You should be bold. You should be more like outspoken. You should be able to carry people along. You should be able to influence people. So usually most introverts do not even want to talk. So imagine finding themselves in a situation like that. They might not really carry out their duty or the responsibility the best possible way. So usually they are at a disadvantage because they might not really, people would maybe see them at the first instance and assume they will not be able to deliver. But then because somebody who is bold, somebody who is able to do this and do it and carry people along to speak and all of that, it's already, you're already classified as a good leader. Those things play a huge role in achieving goals set out for a group of people, because people should be able to look up to you and expect the work to be done. And you actually deliver. So if you're not able to do those basic things, it will really go at a disadvantage to those who can.
Okay, so Louisa, just take us through your leadership journey so far. So we are talking from secondary school to university. When did you realize that you want to lead, or when did you realize that, oh, I like pushing things forward? Just walk on.
I think my first realization, I would call it, was in kindergarten.
Wow.
KG2. That was when I had my first election.
Wow.
I ran for class prefect.
KG2?
Yes.
I see, nice.
KG2.
Okay.
And then I think from there, I was the school prefect for primary school, JHS, and then the school prefect for my secondary school as well. And then moving to the university, I was the deputy speaker for my school's parliament. And I ran for SRC president, but I lost by 43 votes.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. And walking you through that journey, I would say it's been bittersweet. There are things you encounter that you think it shouldn't have been there in the first place. And there are others too that are so new and you would have to wrap your head around it. But what is major is how society perceives women. Society has carved out certain roles for women that shouldn't have been there in the first place. For instance, you tell your fellow woman that I would want to run for SRC president, and she tells you, why don't you go for the women organizer portfolio? Why don't you go for WOCOM? Because this portfolio has been carved out for women. But I am thinking that, is it so because we think women cannot match up to men when it comes to occupying top-notch leadership roles? So society in its own way has carved out certain rules to limit the aspiration of some young ladies. But then when you move to the secondary school level, the narrative is different. The narrative is that let's get a girls' school prefect, let's get a boys' school prefect. So the girls' school prefect handles that for the ladies, and that of the boys handles that for the boys. But I think that if we have a common precedent in this country, it doesn't matter the gender you belong to. Why then do we have this segregation in our various basic schools? Sure. If it is a school prefect, it should be a school prefect. But society is perceiving that some women cannot match up to men, so we should be able to give them that benefits of that, let's segregate, so they don't compete with men on these levels. But my question has always been this: if women can meet the pass mark in the same classroom with men, because in that class where we have the boys prefects, in that same class there is a girls prefect. So if a 75% is an A for the girls prefect, it's the same for the boys prefect. So why then is it that when it comes to leadership roles, we should segregate and give the woman a certain kind of advantage over the man because they think women belong to the minority? So my observation has been simple. Society perceives women as weak. Society perceives women as we should go in for roles that are pertaining to women. But when it comes to making major decisions for the entire population, then women shouldn't be given that opportunity. Sure. Yes. Yeah. So I think that has been my difficulty so far.
Okay. Joy, can you share, when did you realize at what time of your life did you come to realization that you want to be a leader? You are the Women's Commissioner for National Association of Nigerian Students in Ghana chapter. Yes, so just walk us through your journey.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting.
Nice. From
time I realized I like to do things. I like to find better and easier way to do things. I like to, if I see something not going the way it should, I don't wait for somebody to say, oh, because you don't have to, I believe you don't have to be a particular person to be able to do something. Sure. That's how I think a true leader should be. Yeah. You don't have to be in a position to be able to carry out leadership roles. Yeah. That's what makes you a good leader. Yeah. If you see something not going the way it should go, and you have the power or you have the capability of doing it the right way and the better way, you should take it up. Yeah. So far it's been interesting. There've been ups and downs, you know. I think from primary school, I realized that, yes, because I like to, you know, put people together. I like to lead people to do something. I'm able to chair people to take on like responsibilities and those things. Yes, so I believe that has really helped throughout the journey, because some of the roles, some of the positions I took up in the university were appointments, because I believe they've probably seen me do something from afar, so they were like, oh, you fit to do this, and then everything. So I've taken up positions for class monitor, like we call it in primary school, where you are the one the teacher will call and all those things. And then my university days was when I really took up positions and everything. I was the class rep level 100 and 200, but then the whole thing, because I took up my business started along the line, so it was really pressing for me, so I had to put the class rep duties down, and then so I can be able to manage my academics whilst I still do my business. So after that, I took up the role for international students representative for my school twice, and then now I'm currently the Women's Commissioner for NANS Ghana. It's not been easy. There are some places that don't expect women to go, like she rightly said. But then if you know what you're about, you wouldn't let people's perception about you being a woman limit you. Sure. If you know what you're about, you should be able to do it without paying attention to what people think or what people would say. Because I believe some people have the potential. They have the capability to deliver so well. But because of how they think people would see them, people might talk down at you. People might, make you feel somehow because you decide to take up the role. They decide, oh, let me just leave it for the guy, because probably people would prefer the guy. But I believe people should be able to, they should be given the opportunity to do it. People should be given the chance to prove themselves. most people have been sectioned to carry that notion whilst they grow up, even though they know within themselves that they can do a particular job. Society, what society has put in their mind, they grew up with it. Now they are limiting themselves
just to
fit in to society. But it shouldn't be so, because you only end up losing out on some things or most things that you would have been able to do and everything. So I think people should just take it up however it comes, work with it, and then improve on it, and you'll be fine.
We'll speak more on the challenges of leadership and all that after the break. This has been Ladyz Digest. In case you just joined us, remember you can catch us up on our social medias, Association of African Universities, Facebook and YouTube, and you can follow us on Instagram at Ladyz Digest. We'll go for a break and we'll be back. Just stay tuned.
This is Tips in One. Let's talk about women and leadership. According to Tutorialspoint, women are helping make their leadership presence felt on regional, national and global levels in entrepreneurship, administration, education and etc. Women are now determined to break the traditional glass ceiling that prevented them from entering leadership positions, even though they possess the necessary skills and talents to take them on. A study conducted by Pew Research Center on Women and Leadership suggests that there's little difference between men and women in key leadership traits such as intelligence and the ability to innovate. While many observe that when it comes to being compassionate and organized, they are even better than men. However, the subtle gender bias that persists in the society, community, families and organizations stand as a strong barrier to women leadership. The need to promote leadership among women is just as important as providing an enabling environment for women to fine-tune their leadership qualities. Let us continue empowering women to reach higher heights. My name is Aja Omi. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back from the break, and this is still Ladyz Digest, and I still have in my midst my beautiful guest. Welcome back.
Thank you,
Louisa and Joy. Before the break, you walked us through your journey through leadership. I would want to bring the issue of mentorship. It will go to Louisa. Mentorship. What have you, through this journey so far, have you had any mentor who you usually go to, and what's your role about mentorship or your perspective about mentorship?
I always say that if you would want to go somewhere, it is not the first time on this earth. Someone has been there before you. Sure. So it makes it easier if the person tells you what they encountered, so you also not fall into that same pit when you see one. So I think in this journey, I have had a lot of mentors, a lot. Various aspects of life. I have one for speech, one for my wardrobe, one for how articulate I have to be, and then I have one who does this psychological kind of mentoring. So when it comes to how people perceive you, the problems you encounter because you're a woman, surprisingly, I don't go to a woman, it's a man. Nice. Because most of these issues has to do with men. Okay. So I have this man who has always been there for me, and then he teaches me what to do should I encounter such problems. Okay. And there is another on my wardrobe, because she's had a problem with her wardrobe malfunctioning as a function. So when I go to her, it becomes easier for her to tell me, do this, Louisa, don't do that. Because as young as we may be, you'd want to follow certain trends. Sure. This is in vogue. I would want to wear these jeans, these tattered jeans to this function, because you feel you are young, free and wild. Sure. But then I always say that you should dress into your future. You should think into your future. You should be articulate into your future, and you should be assertive into your future. We may think that it is today, it is cool because I'm a leader amongst my peers. Yeah. But when you are climbing up the ladder, today you're a woman organizer, tomorrow you would want to be a chairman, the next day you'd want to be a member of parliament. So whatever you do today, you should envisage that large picture. And you've not been there. So you can always envisage that large picture if you only work with people who are in that picture already.
Wow. So to you, it's very necessary.
It's very necessary.
Wow. Okay, Joy. your view on that?
Oh, it's really important for everyone to have a mentor. It helps you, it shapes you to, it helps you to know what you're supposed to do, what not to do, like she said. And just like the growing up, you have your parents, your mother to guide you, to tell you what to do and how to go about things before you even get there. They've been there. So they actually know how those things will play out. Sometimes it might not really play out exactly how you imagine it to be, but most of the times, because they have been there before, they've passed through that same stage you will pass through. They are able to guide you and help you out. So it's better when you have an idea of a situation before you even get there. So when you get there, you know how to act, you know how to react towards the situation, you know how to go about it. You wouldn't find yourself stranded. You wouldn't find yourself confused because you already have an idea of how it will be. So I think it's important for everyone to have a mentor, especially when you have leadership, you have your vision of going somewhere, whether political or anywhere you want to lead. It's great to have a mentor because it will really help. It really goes a long way to help you. And you will be so shocked that some things you think, oh, I'll be able to do it on my own. By the time you realize, because it's not easy. It's not an easy road. Sometimes you might even face a different hurdle from what your mentor probably faced. But because you already have an idea, you will be able to It's not always going to be the same way. But then because you have an idea of how these situations kind of look like, you already know how to handle whatever you meet in front. So it's really cool. It's important because some people might not, you might find somebody who has really good leadership skills. They are able to do those things and deliver. But then they have maybe a bad side of them. Maybe they get angry. You can imagine somebody having an interview with someone and then they make a statement which you don't find very nice. And you imagine you reacting to it, which is not, you don't want your people who look up to you to see you in that kind of way. So you should be able to control yourself. So these mentors help you know what not to do, know when to do something and when not to do something, know how to react depending. So because being a leader, it comes with a lot of disadvantage as much as you have advantages as well. So you should be able to psych your mind to be able to cope with these things. Know that they come along with your role as a leader. So you shouldn't react to everything. So these mentors really help. They really help to shape you now. And then because of those things, it's like a foundation they've put out for you. You'll be able to cross whatever hurdle you meet in future.
Wow, this is just an answer. Have you found yourselves mentoring people?
Yeah, I think it comes. You don't really find, it's not like a section type maybe it comes naturally. Some people look up to you for different things. You might not even be aware of some of them, but they just look up to you for this. So when you find yourself in a situation like that and the person maybe walks up to you, that's when you realize, oh, okay. And so that's why as a leader, whatever you do, think about it. Some people look up to you and you're not even aware of it. I had somebody who she don't normally dresses, but she's somebody who is a very, very professional person. She knows what she's about. She does normal. But aside a professional life, she has a life that she was living. So she said one time she was just there normal, and then somebody texted her that she liked her. She's liked her for so long, and she likes the way she does her thing, but she likes the way. Now the person focused on her other side of life, which is the normal enjoyment, you live your life. And then the person doesn't even pay attention to the fact that aside the fact that she does those things, she's still professional. She's still able to do what she's supposed to do, what she's expected of. Now, it is her duty and responsibility to put her in the right position that even if you see me do those things, I still do what I'm supposed to do, because aside being a leader, you are a human being. You don't have to pretend. You just need to do what is right and do it in a way that it wouldn't affect you in future. Because some people you do something like 10 years ago and you think, oh, I was a kid. You'll be surprised that when you want to be a member of parliament, somebody will bring that thing and you'll be like, oh, so no. You see, people have they can dig deep just to bring that thing out. So if as a leader, you should be careful, you should be empathetic, you should be able to put yourself in people's shoes and those things. So it really, really, really is important.
Yeah, so Louisa, have you found yourself mentoring people unconsciously or consciously?
Yeah, Unconsciously, yes, and then consciously, yes, because I have a foundation, Louisa Cares Foundation, where I look out for young ladies with potential, and I decide to help them out achieve whatever they would want to achieve in life. So, for instance, the Louisa Cares Foundation is looking at charity, 1, looking at building your confidence levels, 2, pushing people to various careers. There are some young people who are in the secondary school and all that, but they have no idea what the future holds. So it is the everyday life. Let's dress, vacation classes, let's go for parties, and life ends there for them. But what I am doing now, it's, this is who you are. You are a Kia, you are ya. We look at your potential. How best can we help you achieve what you want to achieve in life? Because I believe that in this life where women are in the majority, looking at our numbers, the world will become a better place. If there are more women excelling, if there are more women living up to their dreams and not looking up to others to actually fend for their needs and all that. And the unconscious part, like Joy rightfully said, the way you even walk is a motivation for someone. The way you talk, how you actually look at issues, even from your own perspective, people admire your perspective. One time in JIJ, where I contested for House President, I think after my vetting, a lecturer actually walked up to me and said, I have always seen you walk around campus. I have always wondered why women don't want to take up this role. But the moment you started talking, I would want my daughter to be like you. And this is a man who lectures me. I see him up there. I am nowhere near him. I'm an undergrad. But then just that alone is telling you that you are doing something right. So you would have to bring some people in there. Because my favorite quote goes like this: there is no such thing as a self-made person. Someone else believed, motivated, and invested in you. So you should be grateful to nature and be that someone to others. And you can only do that by mentoring other people.
Wow, that's a very good quote. Let's talk about breaking the glass ceiling, which it's like we know that's a big issue for ladies. Louisa made mention of when she was talking about her journey through leadership, where she tried coming out for SRC president, and some people were like, a fellow woman was like, why don't you go for women's commission? So it's like you are putting me here. That stereotyping thing, like limiting ladies to a particular thing, and it happens in schools where they say, okay, I want to go study engineering, and you tell me that, oh, engineering is for men. I want to go and do teaching so that you can get home early. I know my mom was one like that. It's like, okay, for masters, you can do teaching so that when you be a teacher like me, my mom, so you can come home early and cook for your family while your husband does the banking jobs and all. What can you say about that?
I think most of these things start from the family. Because that's where everything starts from. You grow up in your home, from your kindergarten to your secondary school, you are with your parents. Even to university days, you are with your parents. So shaping people to not put themselves in a box starts from the family. Some people find themselves in homes where they want to be engineers, but their father will say, oh, you are a woman, go and do something else. Engineering is for boys. You will not even get a job because they will think you are not strong enough to take up the role. But then it shouldn't be so. Although people, and you see, people grow up with such mentality, such continuous words be put in them, and they assume and they accept that for themselves. So now, even if you know within yourself that you are capable of doing that thing you want to do, because that's your passion, and with passion you can actually achieve a whole lot of things. Because you know, you believe in yourself that you can do these things. The notion that you've grown, you've gotten yourself, like you've grown with it, will set in, and then you go with what if. What if has cost so many people their future. What if I actually come out and be like what they are expecting? What if I come out and I'm not able to do well?
That fear of uncertainty.
That fear. Now you have caused yourself to feel that way. And then you prevent yourself from achieving what you want to achieve, even though you would have even done a perfect job. So I think people should even if you grow up in a situation like that, in an environment like that that does not support a particular thing because you are a female, you should be able to grow out of it. Because how you start, it's not easy to grow out of those things. It's not easy because those things sometimes even end up affecting your self-esteem. And you can't even, maybe if I go and people don't like me. You shouldn't care about what people will say about you. You shouldn't care about whether they like you or not. People have their perception. You cannot take that from them. However, people even do good things. People still have bad perception about them. So you cannot put yourself in a box because of how somebody will see it. How do you see it? Yourself. How do you see yourself? How do you envision yourself? Like, that should be your major concern, not how somebody sees it. If somebody doesn't want to go for a position of SRC, that's them. Don't think, and some people to take decisions based on what their friends think. Don't go for that one. You wouldn't look nice. It wouldn't fit you. It doesn't, you're a woman. People should be able to talk themselves out of. And sometimes to the association you find yourself in, it really plays a big role because you find yourself with people who do not even believe in women taking up roles. And when you find yourself in those kind of things, because they play a huge role in affecting you, you find yourself believing and walking in their line. So I think people should be able to know when to remove themselves from companies like that, because that's you are yourself. You own your future, I should say. So you should be able to bring yourself from any situation that would not help you. If you want something, go for it. Stop limiting yourself. Stop putting fear in yourself, because whatever you decide to put in yourself, that is how it's going to come out. So I think people should just leave whatever people say and do whatever you can do. Even if you think it's difficult, try your hands on it. You might even go and find out it's not as difficult as you imagined it to be. So people should just learn to do it. Even if people are being negative and there's so much negativity and all, just focus and put in your best, put in the effort, do your work, do whatever you're supposed to do to get there. Where you are going should drive you to do whatever you want to do, not what people say, not what people think. People don't believe in women taking up roles. But people, if you believe in yourself, it wouldn't matter. When you go and you get there and you deliver, they would even come and cheer you, oh, she's done well. But they'll forget that initially they were the one telling you, oh, you don't have to do that. So you see, whatever you do, when you get there and you deliver, those people who didn't even want to support you from the beginning, they would. Because now they've seen that, oh, she actually did it. So people should just do not let being a female limit them from doing whatever they want to do.
So Louisa, we shouldn't let being a female limit us from getting what we want to. But there's a situation where we live in a society, and as she mentioned, people would might not encourage you, and we need these people at times. Like if maybe you're vying for a position, you need their votes, you need them to get there. How do you look at that? How would you be able to overcome that challenge, looking at the fact that you want to be there, but then the people who are kind of pushing you back, you still need them?
Okay, so personally, this is how I deal with it. I always say that you are your own architect. You are the one drawing the plan for your life. So you can't draw a 3-bedroom apartment for yourself and allow somebody influence you to live in a single room self-contained. Even though society is not in isolation, we sort of depend on each other for things. Nobody is an island on their own. But then just sometimes, some islands do exist for people to discover and know the true nature of things. So I always weigh the options. If I go for this, what will be the outcome? If I go for that, what will be the outcome? Because I believe that in as much as you have a personal development to achieve, you should also be a blessing to your generation. So whatever I would want to do, at the end of the day, if it's going to benefit the people, if what I have to put in place is for the general good of the people, that is all leadership is about. That is what I call it, self-actualization. If I am living a successful life and the people around me do not benefit from that, it is pointless. So if I would want to be an SLC president, for instance, there are other people going for that portfolio.
Yeah.
Why do I think I should be the best option? Let's tell the people. I always say that for the sake of gender equality chants, most women are reluctant in delivering. And we think things should be given to us on a silver platter for the mere fact that I am a woman. So if you are saying that I would want to be SLC president, what are you bringing on the table? What are you doing now? What should we base our assessment on now to give you that larger picture? So I always call it enough of the rant that we deserve more as women. It is time to actually prove that we can live it. So if my friends are telling me that you can't be that, then probably they are not your friends, because your friend should be able to tell who you are. This is your potential. So your friend should be able to give you that option. This is your temperament. So I think we should do it this way, that way. Your friend should never talk you out of your aspiration. So I always say that you associate with your future. You don't associate with your now. Some people are in your lives for the now. Because now you are living a certain life. They are benefiting now. So we tend to like people who are always giving us the praise singers and all that. But I always say it is better to go for friends who are the go-getters. When people are saying she can't do it, if she is your friend, she should tell you, based on this, your quality, that quality, you are able to achieve that. So let's go for it. Yeah. Let's do it this way. So I say that the challenges may come. It is inevitable. Sure. People would definitely talk you down, because that position you're aspiring for, inwardly, the person wanted that, but couldn't get the confidence enough to come out and say that I would want to run for this office because of the stereotypes that comes with it. But if you are bold enough to come out, my dear, live it, walk it, experience it, and make it competent enough for other women to occupy that. I always say that if there have been women leaders before us, and the women leaders after are finding a problem with becoming leaders, then probably there was a problem somewhere. Because if you become a woman leader today, the next generation is going to look at your achievements as a yardstick to measure another female leader. So for instance, in your community, there was an assembly woman. That assembly woman did not do anything perfect. Everything in the community is a mess. Then a man comes in, a man is voted for, the man delivers. So today, if Louisa walks up to the electorate, I would want to be an assembly woman, the first thing everybody will say is, oh, we voted for the other person, and what did she do? So I would always say that if you're a woman leader now, you have that larger responsibility of delivering, so that the generation after you would walk in that glory.
Wow. That's very brilliant. You mentioned gender equality, and that will be what we'll be speaking on. We know that gender equality, that word now is becoming a cliche, like everywhere, gender equality, gender equality. I want to bring it down to our higher institutions. How would you say that? We know traditionally women are underrepresented in our institutions. What would you say about that, and what would be some of your recommendations on that aspect? And first of all, this word, is it gender equality or gender equity? So if you speak on that first, then before we go to the other.
Okay. Personally, gender equality, there is gender equity. But if I am to put them on a pedestal, I would definitely choose equity over equality. In the sense that when equality is saying that we are all human beings, there is no difference between a man and a woman. What is given to a woman should be given to a man. If a woman is being given to, the man should be given to, because we are all human beings. But I ascribe more to equity, because in as much as we are all human beings at a point, at another level, we have our biological differences. We didn't create ourselves. So for instance, our physique is different from that of a man. So if you are giving a man a singlet, quote and unquote, you give a woman another kind of underwear.
Sure.
Not because we are all humans. Gender equality is saying that if you are giving a man a singlet, then we should give a woman a singlet.
Which won't go for
exactly. But equity is saying that if you are giving a man a singlet, you should find the alternative that will fit into the picture of a woman. In our institutions, even in my school, an 80 is an A. It is like that for everyone. An 80 is an A for everyone. If you put yourself in that position to go to school, in the classroom, there is no excuse for being a man or woman. Deliver. Sure. Period. But where my recommendations will come in, it's for the various homes and some government structures. For instance, you are in a home with 2 siblings who are men, and your daddy tells you that as a woman, as typical of the Ghanaian society, someone will marry you to their homes. Someone is going to take that responsibility. So your brothers are going to be the breadwinners for other people. So let's give your brother that opportunity to climb higher. But I am saying that if in a home you are sponsoring education for your kids, you shouldn't look at these differences. Never. Because in some homes, as we speak now, the women are the breadwinners.
Yeah, sure.
You may never know what the future holds.
Yeah,
yes.
It's very normal.
So in that sense, equality comes in. If you are taking your girl child to school, you are taking your boy child to school. It doesn't matter their IQ.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you give them the equal opportunity. But where equity comes in is that when your boy child is going to school, he comes home and doesn't do house chores.
Yeah.
But your girl child comes home, she sweeps, she does the laundry, she is cooking, and her brother is on the field playing football. When they come back in the evening, you all do your homework, and your parents expect that you produce the same results. But I am saying that it is time we teach our younger generation that we are both equal in certain sense, and it is a partnership in doing domestic chores. So if there are 2 people running the home, mommy is done cooking and we have to wash the utensil. If I will take 5 minutes to do it, if I do it with my brother, it means 2 hands. We are going to use 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So it is time that we look at these gender parities, rectify it with equity first, and then the equality comes in when we all reach that level that there is no difference in what a man can do, there is no difference in what a woman can do in the sense of delivering.
Okay. So, it's been great having you people. So your final words. I want to, where would you see yourself? Do you intend pursuing going through this leadership journey? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
For the leadership, it's something that is there. It's like an everlasting thing. But
it's in you.
Yeah, it's in you. It's like we are born with it. I'm considering it seriously. Okay. But I see my business is also on the side. So years from now, I'll really be a very big business person by God's grace. Yes, and then for the leadership, I'm really considering going to politics. But then we're still looking at it.
Still looking at
it.
Louisa, where do you see yourself? Do you intend pursuing going through the journey? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, I should be in an office where the general good of my constituents is my major concern.
Constituents?
Yes, and I should be in that position where other people look at me and would want their daughters to toe the same line that I did. And I should be in an office where society will see it and say that indeed women too can deliver. So we should certainly give that change a chance.
Wow, thank you, my beautiful guests, for coming. My producer has been taunting me that we've overstayed. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope when next we call on you, you would avail yourselves for a more exciting,
like they say, for God and country.
There you go. That's nice. It's been a very exciting session here with my beautiful and wonderful guests, and they've touched on a lot of things, from qualities of a good leader, to the challenges and how to overcome them. And I wish them success in their future endeavors. In case you just tuned in and you think, oh, I've missed the show, no worries. You can always watch and rewatch this show on our social media handles on Facebook and YouTube, Association of African Universities, and you can follow us on Instagram at Ladyz Digest. Many thanks to my production team for making this show a success. Till I come your way next time, I'm Joan Akua Iyoha. Stay tuned. Bye.